send it to me.
Okay. How do I know it's recording?
I don't know. It says it in the top left-hand corner, recording.
It does?
Yeah, you're recording.
Oh,
I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, I see a little red circle. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, gotta stand up straight then. Mountain pose. Do some yoga. Hi, David.
Hi,
You have to
David.
mute it.
Had to unmute
Oh,
myself.
and which David? Both Davids.
Yeah, we
There's
got
two
Davids
Davids.
everywhere. Yeah.
And Blair's connecting as well.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
So, Andrea, if my internet goes out, you got to take over the show.
Okay, I'm praying for your router.
So Dave Engdahl, I have the video rough edit available if you wanted to show that. I don't know if it's too soon, but I have your slides incorporated.
Yeah, Brandon, I think it's too soon because I mean, it's probably less than half there. And we have the organization set up, but the visuals are not there. Which this group is pretty visual.
I was telling Shonda this is the first time I put on a button-down shirt in about a month. So.
Yeah, I don't mind the relaxed dress code.
Well, I actually had my AC go out yesterday, so that might have been an issue if they weren't able to fix it when they did.
Questions are coming across slurred. Mine slurred.
Good morning.
Hey, Jonathan.
How you guys doing?
Good.
How are you?
Good. It's not morning anymore, is it?
Mhm. No.
It's all right.
Sometimes that slurring is some participants have their mic on and it causes the slurring or delay. So the general way that I've participated in this sort of thing is with the mics muted unless you're talking.
Okay.
Good morning.
Morning. Okay, good morning. I think we have almost the whole board. Just don't see Dean or Micheline yet.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Hi.
Now.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get started. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. We won't necessarily do introductions because that could take half of our scheduled time just to have everybody introduce themselves. So let me just thank you all for joining. This is our first Zoom event since the pandemic shut down our events. So thanks again, and let me just get into it. So I'm kind of seeing this to be more of an open discussion, but I think it's going to end up being like the lunch and learn where the presenter says it's an open discussion and then he just speaks for an hour. So I don't have an hour's worth of speaking, but if you do want to chime in on anything or have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll go through my few slides, let David Engdahl speak about the downtown visioning efforts, and then we can come back for open questions and forums and discussions. And if we really run out of things to do, I'm willing to give a little architectural virtual tour of my house. That could be interesting.
You ever decide on your cabinet colors?
No, that's still open. Well, people threw in that whole, well, maybe you should mix it and do half dark on the bottom and light on top. And that just like threw me all back to square one.
I'm an advocate of that.
Me too.
So we're getting off topic a little bit, but just in case anyone's not familiar with the 2020 board, I mean, we did have about 4 events in the beginning of the year. I'm Brandon Porch, the current president. Andrea Hook is the president-elect. I don't know if anyone wants to say anything about themselves. If not, I will. Jonathan Essa is the treasurer. Roxanne Horvath is the secretary. Dean Scott, Amit Vaswani, and Micheline Deegan are the chapter directors. And Michael Bird is the state director, and Marjorie Webb-Reed is the past president and working on the jury for the Design Awards Gala. And in case you want to see photos of us in action, here we are playing ping pong. So that will get us to the main announcement we had, was that we've decided to do a virtual architecture week for the safety of our members this year. And that is scheduled for October 12th through 16th with the virtual gala on that Friday, October 16th. So we'll kind of be developing how that's going to work. If there are any members who are good with video production, let us know, because we plan to pre-record most of it just to prevent any, late day of events that could cause trouble.
Brandon, is that something that you're looking to have members do, or is that like a paid type thing?
I don't know.
Or is there a budget for it, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I think we haven't gotten that far. To be,
Okay.
Can we send out an Uber Eats for people who bought tickets?
No, but I do think we are open to an in-kind donation of services. I know we have a few various allied members who are AV specialists, and we'd be interested in partnering with them for some of that. we do already have the WJCT sound stage, which is where the event was going to be, as a venue that we can use to do some of the. So we're going to get it put together, but if we have anyone interested, especially an AV company that could do an in-kind sponsorship, I think that would be great, and we'd love to hear if anyone has any ideas on that.
I can check. I know somebody that's got high def cameras, but they obviously, they're commercial business, they charge, but I can see.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
And also an architecture week, it's the Women in Architecture event, which they typically do a trivia night. I guess they could still do a trivia night. That could be fun virtually. I think we'll also try to do an art by architects. I was hesitant to do a in-person one at the beginning of the year because we don't have a gallery space, and I'm not sure all of the architects who submitted work last year have too much new work to show. But now that we're doing it virtually and people have more time, perhaps there's more work that we can submit and show, and then I would think each architect gets maybe 2 minutes to show a couple of their pieces virtually. So I'll be sending announcements out for any architects who want to participate in that. Also, the 777 event would be that same week. So we're always looking for emerging design professional speakers for that event, for anyone who may have ideas or know people who would be willing to speak. And that brings us to the golf tournament and / perhaps trade show. So since we're not doing the gala this year, we had also postponed the golf tournament, but reconsidered when we discovered they were still doing tournaments and it's an outdoor event. So we're penciling it in for November 9th. And we're considering combining it with the trade show and perhaps the annual meeting, although I think the annual meeting needs to occur earlier than that. So we're still working out details on voting for the annual meeting, but for the golf tournament and trade show, still working out the details. If there's any vendors who have some good ideas of how that could work, I'm all ears. I don't know if Dean is on the line. He's been volunteered to run the golf tournament this year. And he did that nice sketch that you see as well. Also for AIA Florida, it's the People's Choice Awards. Every year they nominate different buildings for the people to vote on. This year they've decided to go with a theme, and that theme is hotels. So if you go to their website or the floridapeopleschoice.org, you can vote for your favorite hotel. And we have 3 of them in the North Florida region, the Casa Marina at Jacksonville Beach, which I used to live a couple blocks away from here. So I've been here often and voted for it. Has a good Sunday brunch if you're looking for a Sunday brunch on the beach. And of course the Casa Monica Resorts and Spa in St. Augustine. And then there's one in Fernandina Beach, the Florida House Inn. So please get online and vote for your favorite hotel. We had done a couple Ask an Architects at Riverside Arts Market. We're gonna wait until things go back to normal before starting that up again, but virtually the Gainesville chapter has started doing an Ask an Architect program where they set up Zoom meetings with students from the UF School of Architecture, and they just have an open question answer session with professional architects, and anyone who's interested in joining can send me or Shonda an email and I'll send you the Zoom information. That will be Fridays, as you can read. I don't know if they do it at lunch, but I can get you more information for anyone who's interested. And if there's any students in Jacksonville who would be interested, let me know. I think FSCJ started some type of drafting or architecture program. I would need to look into that a little more. If anyone knows, let me know. We're gonna start Zoom chapter meetings, and we have 2 speakers lined up right now. So the chapter meetings would be somewhat similar to this setup. We would do announcements, maybe have an open discussion, and then hear from the speakers, and also just have an open discussion with the speakers. So the first one I'm trying to set up for later this month will be Lori Boyer, who is the CEO of the Downtown Investment Authority. And she would like input from the architecture community on how we can write better zoning codes and design requirements for downtown development that would encourage well-designed architecture. It's always a challenge of how to actually legislate good design, but hopefully we have some good ideas for her. So stay tuned for when that will be happening. And also Philip Robbie, some of you might have seen his architecture rendering discussion last year, I believe it was in maybe October at Haskell. So he's volunteered to host a presentation on doing virtual design charrettes. So that will be in August, so stay tuned for that. And now I will turn it over to David Engdahl to discuss a little bit about the Downtown Visioning Committee's efforts. And Dave, are you there?
Can you hear me okay? Can you
Yep.
hear me okay? Yep. Okay, good. Well, this is an effort a chapter effort that's been going on for quite a while. Right now, we're in the process, really winding up a process of trying to compress 5 years of work into a 2-minute video. And I wish I had the video to show you, but I don't. And that really kind of concisely presents the message. This effort started, I wanted to give you a little background. This effort started really in 2011. We had a senior architect steering committee. I realized that a lot of us older architects were not participating in the chapter, and I wanted to leverage that experience along with the energy of a lot of the younger architects. And so we did a number of efforts. Some of you may remember we did a presentation. I think our first presentation was 10 architects you should know. And we paired up a senior architect with an EDP and did short presentations. That all ultimately led to the 777. And then we did a speed monitoring evening, which worked out pretty good. We're sort of like speed dating projects. But we wanted a project, and we didn't have a project. We talked about it a lot. We just met for a number of years. And at the same time, I was pursuing kind of an identity and vision for Jacksonville, because I didn't feel like Jacksonville at that time did not have an identity, and still doesn't in my book, or a vision. Something that there's so many downtown projects, and there was nothing that was tying those projects together, no thread that went through. So I met with a number of city leaders, former Mayor John Delaney, Preston Haskell, and quite a few others. And out of that, and I wrote a lot of papers and things like that. Out of that effort, the first person I talked to was Paul Astleford from Visit Jacks. He had just come to town from outside, and he, to my query about how do you go about getting a vision for Jacksonville. He said, projects are not a vision. And that was really instrumental in my thinking that even, I mean, we have all these projects downtown. None of them are going to make Jacksonville identity. I just agree. He said a vision is above projects. It's the glue above projects. So I guess if we were willing to spend $1 billion on an Eiffel Tower or a Seattle Space Needle or St. Louis Arch, we could make an identity with a project. So then I took this effort that I was working on to the senior architect steering committee, and that committee, we always included the leader of the EDPs and the chapter chair, and Tom Duke at that time was the president of the chapter, and he kind of seized on this and said, gee, this is a project maybe we could undertake. So we did that, and we kind of morphed the senior architects steering committee into the downtown visioning team. And we met, it was about 10 of us, and we met about every 2 to 3 months. We did homework in between. We had charrettes. We had meetings with the city and made presentations to the city. And we engaged through that city process, engaged
This message is for Emily Cruz. This is Rich Batchelder of Plunkett Wasage Architects. I had the pleasure of meeting you twice. First, last year at the ACA convention, and this year, early in the year, at this
hearing.
up in
Do
Jacksonville.
I need to mute somebody?
And you asked to.
Having trouble hearing.
And please
Yeah,
go
Brandon, can you mute everybody that's not talking besides Dave Ingdahl?
Need to unmute, David.
Okay. So can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Or okay, I'm having trouble hearing you. At any rate, I'll continue. We met a number of times with Lori Boyer. She was on a city council person at the time, and we realized that we were not implementers. We could have the ideas, but we were not implementers. So we decided that Lori would be a good ally because she's good at implementation. And while she was on city council, she got funding to begin this. She called it activation of the riverfront, or riverfront activation. But she seized on our ideas. She arranged a meeting with some of us from the visioning team, with all the Times Union editors, and some of the editorials you read recently or since the last few years use some terms that we used. One is nodes, and the other is something that I'm focused on, and that is no palm trees. So the vision, it's not a plan. The vision is to focus on the river, both north and south sides, and tie those two together. The DIA's plan, overall community redevelopment plan for both the north side and south side, focus on the river. Say you start at the river and then you work back into the city. That's how you go about it. So you have the plan up there. So yeah. It's a plan. This is a plan view, but this is not a plan. This is a vision. This is above a plan. We conceived of nodes along the riverfront, about 10-minute walk apart, along the Riverwalk, which is the only pedestrian only area that we have right now in the city. And these would be activity nodes that, and Lori added this, actually, it was her idea, that the nodes would each focus on one aspect of Jacksonville history and culture. For instance, one of the charrettes we did was for the USS Adams, and certainly one of the nodes needs to be the Navy. That's very strong in Jacksonville. Two other nodes that we had charrettes on. One is, and these are projects that Lori is pursuing. That includes the Times Union Center, the space between the building and the river, and the Friendship Fountain was the other one, the whole Friendship Fountain area. So she, as city council person, got funding to start development on those two nodes, activity centers. And that work is underway. Again, the Times Union will be focused on a rich music heritage. The Friendship Fountain is Jean Riveau and his landing in what is now Jacksonville. So to emphasize again, this is not a plan. We located the nodes where we thought they would be best located as entrance points back into the city from the river, pedestrian ways that connect to like Hemming Plaza or other activity areas within the city. So the nodes can be anywhere. Lori did a plan that shows the nodes at different locations, and we have them, and that's fine. Again, this is a vision. This is not a plan. And part of the idea of the nodes is they tie the whole waterfront together and includes the existing buildings we have, the new ones that are about to be built, and some in the future that we don't even know about. There's a lot of rich waterfront. If you start at the shipyards and go the whole way around to the port, that whole area will be at some point valuable land developed and river walks extended. So again, a vision needs to be broad enough to incorporate anything that might happen in the future. So we also conceived that each one of these activity nodes needs to have a marker. So yeah. So we did a charrette on markers. We did a lot of research on that, and we thought, well, each marker of the nodes should be